everybody, Jason, New Age Revolution, down here in the cave, the illustrious cave, the elusive cave, the mysterious cave, the cave, indeed. I am here in the cave, as I've tried to express. We got a couple videos tonight. This is either the first or second or two. I'm not sure what the upload order is going to be. But the first thing I want to say, my child, one of my childs, Liam's Ultimate Games. We got a strange email today from Gmail, that indicated that my child was too young to have a Gmail account, and so they were deactivating it. And along with that, deactivates his ability to make new videos on Liam's Ultimate Games. Mm-hmm. It's true. And so we had to make him a new channel. So I implore all of you. The boy had 120 subscribers and he was over the moon about it. He was over the moon. So now I implore all of you, if you love me, if you truly worship the New 80s Revolution, as I know you do, get on the YouTube and go look up Liam's Ultimate Games 2. The number 2. Liam's Ultimate Games 2. You know, space it out. Liam's Ultimate Games 2. And throw him a subscription. If you're into, Half Dead Hornets, my son's band, they're up there now. Banging away at the Fortnite. If you're into Half Dead Hornets, my son's rock band, please subscribe to Liam's Ultimate Games 2. If you're into, 17 shorts a day, subscribe to Liam's Ultimate Games 2. I beg of thee. Let's get him back to 120. Let's get him all 120 of those subscribers. Poor kid, he lost his channel. Channel's still up, but he just can't. He doesn't have it anymore. He can't run it anymore. All right, so we are not only grieving the loss of Liam's Ultimate Games, we are mourning the loss of television. We continue to mourn the loss of television as we knew it. And I felt it today. Because I wanted to watch college football because Notre Dame plays tonight in a couple of hours. The 9th-ranked Notre Dame, my team, plays Ohio State, 6th-ranked Ohio State. Going to be a great game. Ohio State's only favored by 3. Notre Dame has been putting up a ton of points. Their quarterback is killing it. I'm looking forward to that game tonight, and I'm just fortunate enough to be able to watch it on Peacock. But I wanted to watch college football all day today. There were some great games, Florida State and Clemson, blah, blah, blah. I don't have cable. My over-the-air reception is awful where I live. I couldn't watch it. So for the first time in a long time, I grieved the loss of basic cable or local channels. But I'm not paying the garbage prices that they have for these things. So anyway, we mourn the loss of television with my 30 most memorable TV moments. I think we're up to number 8, maybe. I think we're up to number 8. The title of the video will say so. But my next most memorable TV moment has nothing to do with the 80s. Nothing to do with the 80s. It has to do with the early 90s, folks. In fact, it has to do with 1992. And you've heard me talk a little bit about this before, but my next most memorable television moment is the 1992 Summer Olympics. That's right, the 1992 Summer Olympics. I was going into 11th grade, but that doesn't feel right. I almost feel like I was going into 10th grade, which mathematically that's just not true. So I just have a hard time believing that I was that old, that I was going into 11th grade and being such an immature kid that I was. But I think it's just generational, right? I don't think I was immature. I think I was a kid. And I was doing kid things, which you'll hear in a minute. But for whatever reason, for many reasons, the 1992 Summer Olympics are a very memorable television moment for me for a couple of reasons. First reason, but not the most important reason. Not the most important reason was the concept of the dream team. I was a basketball fan once upon a time. Now it's just, I couldn't tolerate it for more than half a second. But in the 90s, I was a basketball fan because it was great. And you had a ton of star power and you had, just, it was basketball. It wasn't street ball. It wasn't a showboat of one person's skills on a playground basketball court as it is today. And it was made up of individuals that I wanted to know and wanted to watch and cared about. Now it's made up of people that I don't think are good people, but that's not what we're talking about. But I was a basketball fan. And so to see this all-star team come together or beyond all-star team. In fact, they probably sat around the big board table and thought, well, we can call it the all-star team, right? But it's not. It's more than an all-star team. It's a dream team. That's right. It's a dream team because you take so many of the most perfect players in basketball and Christian Laettner. Okay. And you put them all together and you call it a dream team. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, enough said, right? I think it was Karl Malone. I got some of the figures. Patrick Ewing, I do declare, was on the dream team. But you've got this, and Christian Laettner, you've got this massive collection of NBA basketball players going over to, was it Seoul? I think 92 was Seoul, or was it Barcelona? I can't remember. Why can't I remember? It's one of my most memorable TV moments. Anyway, you got this U.S. Dream Team going over there, and it was so fun. First of all, it was fun to watch them just destroy other teams, but then it was also fun to watch them almost kind of be in trouble in a few games. I enjoyed it. Yes, of course, they won the gold. Yes, of course. But I did enjoy watching the underdog team put up a fight against the dream team. I thought it was great. I loved that. There were like starting lineup figures, like I said, based on the dream team. There were, cereal boxes. I mean, it was a big deal. And now we don't care. We couldn't care less, about that anymore. We don't care. But we cared then. It was important then. There's two more reasons. The other reason that it was so important or so memorable was it was the summertime, obviously. It's the Summer Olympics. I'm off from school and I've got a TV in my room. And I really loved tuning into the Olympics early in the morning and late at night. That's how it would run because it was in a completely different time zone, obviously. And so when I woke up in the morning, I would turn on the little 13-inch TV and I would see Bob Costas in the Olympic studio, recapping some events and then going to some live events, whether it was diving, which I was always into, whether it was the basketball, whether it was gymnastics, which we'll talk about in a minute, water polo. It didn't matter. I was just so into the Olympics in 92. Haven't cared about them since, but so into the Olympics in 92 that I would watch them early in the morning. And then before I went to bed, they would go until midnight. The Olympics would run until midnight for that, 10-day or 2-week period. And so again, you're still a kid and you're staying up late. You're staying up till 11, 12 o'clock at night and you're watching sports. You're watching the Olympics happen on your television in the middle of the night. And I just thought that was great. And I still have vivid memories of, like I said, Bob Costas and whoever else, a partner sitting in front of a fireplace or just sitting in front of a studio, sitting in a studio, just recapping the events. And I just loved it. I loved that I could watch it in the morning. I loved that I could watch it at night. The number one reason I have told the story before. For whatever reason, I was absolutely head over heels for a gymnast named Shannon Miller. She was a gymnast. I think there was the Mary Lou Retton era, and then there was the Shannon Miller, Kim Zmeskal era, right? Carrie Strug, I think, was another one. And why would I remember these little girls' names? Because that's how impactful it was. Whatever reason, the whole country was rooting for these little 14-year-old girls and their gymnastics to beat Russia, right? To beat the Soviet Union. Because the Soviet Union had their own power team of Olympians. And I remember some of their names too. And you're going to be like, what is wrong with your brain? Why do you remember the name Svetlana Boginskaya? Why do you remember that name? Why do you remember the name Tatiana Gutsu? I didn't do any research. This is in my brain because it was that important. It was that important. And we had our U.S. team of, again, Kim Zmeskal and Shannon Miller. And I think Carrie Strug. Carrie Strug might have been in 96, but it was Kim Zmeskal and it was Shannon Miller were the two, America's sweetheart gymnasts. And I just fell in love with Shannon Miller. I thought that she was the greatest looking female in the history of the planet. At 14 years old. Now, I was 14 too. Don't get it mixed up. I was 14, 15. She was my age. She was my age. And she was from Oklahoma. And man, was I in love. I would cut out, because they won the gold, and just became this new America's team. Again, cereal boxes, Sports Illustrated covers, the whole deal. Talk show appearances, Arsenio Hall, I think. And I would go and I would cut out as many little pictures. I mean, I was like this crazy stalker kid. I would cut out all these photos of Shannon Miller and put them all over my room. I had a closet door that was just full of Shannon Miller photos. And the highlight of that summer was me deciding to write to Shannon Miller. And I did. I wrote to Shannon Miller. And I think it was care of the Olympics. I think you had to write to the Olympics to get the letter to Shannon Miller. Obviously, this is before Twitter and Instagram, where you could just, follow Shannon Miller and she'll heart your post and then bam, you're best friends with her. Okay, I'm so glad that didn't exist back then, because I would be out of my mind obsessed. So I wrote her a letter and, told her that I thought that she was just, the bee's knees, and wished her all kinds of luck. And I don't even know what I was asking. I might have even asked her on a date or something. I don't even know. I can't remember. I had to profess my love somehow in the letter, right? Well, we had to mail the letter, and like I've said before, it's 1992. Today, if I have to mail a letter, it's not that big a deal. I go to the post office, I buy a stamp, and I drop it off in the box. Not that big a deal. But in 1992, for a kid, it's a big deal, right? Especially with the parents that I had. My mom. Hey, Mom, you got an envelope and a stamp? Nah. Why would we have an envelope and a stamp? Okay, whatever. So now I've got to somehow get this letter into an envelope, get it stamped. How the heck do you do that? And then get it in a mailbox somewhere. So I rallied up my friends in the apartment complex. And we all, just picture the Goonies. The Goonies just riding their bikes down, Goonie Road or whatever, as they look for they go on their adventure. That was us. I could hear the song playing in my head. Good enough for me. Whatever. I recruited all of them, guys. They all knew that I loved Shannon Miller. I said, guys, we got to get this letter to Shannon Miller. We have to get this letter to her. And I need your help, right, fellas? So we all got our bikes, and there was probably 3 of us, including me, 3 or 4 of us, including me, going about a mile, maybe even a little more than a mile, down the road to the grocery store. We had the big old Wegmans grocery store, not the post office, the grocery store. And folks, it was raining. I kid you not, it was raining. We drove in the rain, fighting traffic. My crew behind me. the Goonies behind me, the letter in my pocket, hopefully not getting soaking wet as I'm riding my bike. We get to Wegmans. You got to go to the customer service desk. You have to ask for a stamp. At that point in time, I think they're a quarter, 27 cents, whatever the stamp was in 1992. You take the wet letter out. You got the envelope. The pen ink is running. You slap the stamp on it. You drop it in the mailbox. And there goes your dream. Your dream is in the mail. And we ride back exhausted, all right. Okay. And then you just sit. And I don't know what I was sitting and waiting for, but I was sitting and waiting. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still waiting. I am still waiting. I never got a response from Shannon Miller. I never got any acknowledgement at all. 30 years later, folks, I am still waiting to hear from Shannon Miller about my letter. Now, I even included a photo. I found a photo, and every photo of me back then was goofy, so I tried to find the least goofiest. And in fact, I think I posed for this photo. I think I had my friend Ryan take a photo of me. I had a Dallas Cowboys t-shirt on, a pair of Umbro shorts, right? Because I was such a soccer player as a kid. Not at all. Had some, really low, maybe low Adidas or even low Umbro sneakers. Did Umbro make sneaker? I think they did. But I had I had soccer shoes on. I didn't play soccer. I've never played soccer in my life. But I had soccer shorts, soccer sneakers, and a Dallas Cowboys shirt with an Atlanta Braves baseball hat on. And I was just standing there. And of course, you're not going to smile. So I'm just like, what's up? Maybe the head cocked a little. Hoping that that would that would stoke the fire of Shannon Miller, that I would somehow get her attention. And I didn't. I heard nothing back from old Shannon Miller. And so if she's watching, because I will put her name in the title. If she's watching, you send me a letter. I put my address. Well, wait, I've moved about 46 times since then. Just subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Memorable moment number whatever, 8, 9, I don't know. It's in the title. The 1992 Summer Olympics and my love of Shannon Miller and my crash when I didn't hear anything back. We'll be back again with more memorable TV moments, not as hopelessly depressing as this one, but we will be back. Thank you for watching. Good night now.